Hi, it's Lloyd Joy. So I just heard this story on the internet about this guy who was going to school to be a mechanic, and he was really passionate about it. His mom is just she loves just fixing problems and stuff. And he got in a car accident and he lost one of his hands. And now he feels like he can't do the whole job. I'm just So I want to challenge myself, see if I can do these dishes with just one hand. I really don't know which hand he lost. If it's his right or left. I'm going to use my left because that's my worst hand. I'm right-handed. Um, yeah. I think it's possible. You gotta factor in other factors. Use other things to replace that missing hand. Okay. There's my sheet. Trust me, I understand how difficult this is. Okay, so I'm using cold water. I'm trying to save money because we're trying to move. But hot water generally gets grease and stuff off of things better. And this one, cup isn't very crusty on the inside, but if it's crusty, you can just fill it up with some water and let it sit for a while, and it gets the hard stuff off, and you can just wipe it off if you only have something to wipe it off. Okay. See? The stuff usually is stuck in the little ring around the edge. So you want to put pressure with a couple fingers on that. And usually the only other hand is just steadying the objects. That's what's missing when you're missing a hand. Let's see. It does take longer. We don't actually pay for the cold water, so that's why I'm leaving it running. Okay. Honestly, just practicing this might help you with like sword fighting or fencing if you do that. Because you just try to be as fancy as possible with just the hand that's holding the sword. Let's see. There we go. The thing is, the Bible says, he who is quick to do a job will not like to make money or something, and quick to do a job and quick to get rich, is what it says, is gonna have consequences because of it. And this being without something makes somebody like have to step back and not be as quick as they once were, but it still can be done, you know. That just aggravates me so much about every job I've been to. They try to make you go fast, and you don't realize that you're still kind of a kid, and you're still learning things. You can't just rush everyone right away as if they've done this their whole life, you know. There we go. Honestly, you know how diamonds are made? With a lot of different temperature changes and pressure over a long period of time. It doesn't just happen overnight, but it affects so much. There we go. Okay, so like hard spots like that, I have to use pressure to get it off. Yeah. Honestly, it might be good for basketball. Sometimes you just gotta put your hand down there and just get yourself, because that's what I have, and I can use it, so. I'll get soap on the counter. Hold on. Another thing that makes people like doubt themselves is all these little tiny rules that people have growing up that they learned in their household, and like it's not really well thought out all the time. That's why we feel the need to go to school, so we know the right rules to follow, you know. But some of them you can figure out for yourself. It's not impossible. Okay. Got electric cord. There we go. This one doesn't have much on it. The main purpose of washing this is to just sanitize it. It doesn't have the crusty stuff, and I'm getting that off for the gunky stuff. Okay. There we go. That water is very loud. Hold on. You can also just take your hand and just from the outside. Don't use sponge necessarily. I've had to wash the dishes without a sponge. It's very hard to do, but I had to do it. Just had to eat. Ah! There you go. Okay, the thing is, when you don't have something that most people have, you start to realize the flaws. Like, this, you have to completely set down everything you have just to turn it off. It's like, honestly, the dish handles that come up and out seem like a better design, because then everyone can use that and nobody has a problem. I know there's issues with that design too, because I've looked at it, but I find that much easier to use. Yeah. There we go. There you go. Kind of like feeling it too helps you actually know that the dish is clean. That even with the FDA standards, like, I know everyone's supposed to like wash their hands in the kitchen and stuff, but they actually, the answer to the question is that the dishwasher doesn't have to wash his hands before putting on gloves and going back to work. So that's the actual answer. You wouldn't think so, because washing dishes, you touch everything, literally everything all at once. Like meat, starch, other things like fruit, I guess, in fruit juice, and even alcohol. There can be bacteria that grows in there over a certain amount of time, so it's best to it's best to not serve that after it's been out for like 15 to 30 minutes because that's when it becomes room temperature. My standard is when it comes to room temperature, just throw it away. What? I'm gonna break it. It's not broken yet though. Tis a miracle. Alright, and silverware. You gotta do fancy like hand stuff with it to get it. Okay, usually for the grease, I just use a bunch of hot water, just blast it off. But otherwise, the Dove soap usually works pretty well to get the grease off because they advertise for that. Okay, I was trying this earlier. This is so hard, but I did it. Okay, now go back here. Okay, you're the one over back in there. See, the issue is the grease spot up at the top. I don't have anything to hold down. I gotta find another object that's heavy to put on it. So, let's do this. It's gonna get on the counter. Gotta have something to stop it. Oh, I can't use that one. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, towel. I'll stop the water from going down. I'm gonna make like a crescent shape. Isn't go over the side. Dabbing does more damage than you would originally think. Or than I originally thought. Because it's just very... Because like, it's putting direct pressure on it. It's kind of interesting. See, it doesn't really get it all the way. The butter stuff. Like, really, to get the butter up, I have to get hot water. Yeah, because we, the grease on. I'm still not going. Okay. So we have to use either more hot water or more soap. So we have to invest in something either way. So I know hot water will work. We're going to do that. And not waste soap and have to use both of them. We already got soap. Turn that off. Honestly, this video is like gonna be demonetized because when my shirt is falling down, I gotta have like a strap tying it on the back. If you have to do it one-handed, it's best to do it when the shirt's off. There we go. Yeah. Oh god. Almost done. Got these flat things, corners. They have grease on them, so we'll see how much I can get off first. This counter is very helpful. Back here. There we go. Okay. Just to get the grease off, I'm going to use hot water to Get the grease off. Oh gosh. See? My stripe only goes up when I just do the chicken thing. Mostly chickens are awesome. I don't know why people discriminate against chickens. You gotta stop doing that. Chickens wake up way before I do every single morning. And it's no matter really what time they're hatched. They do that. Anyway. One thing that helps is for me to tell myself constantly, like, I'm in control of this. It's going to stop when I say it's going to stop. And stuff like that. I've just heard other, like, women in my lifetime just say things, random things when they're working that I just, like, remember. And I'm like, oh, wait. That's what she meant by that. And it really helps me to be able to get something done that I wouldn't have been able to if I didn't hear her say that. So I just really appreciate them saying that. And I was mad about it at the time, but like as I get older, I start understanding a little bit more about why they said what they said and how they had like a different thought about something that I didn't think about before. Like she had a care that I didn't realize. Now I'm going, got one, got 2 silverwares and 1 container. Doing containers, so let's do that one first. I'm running out of soap. Let's see if I think about it. How would you go fishing? One hand. It would have to be kind of like a slingshot thing where you just like throw it out like that. Because like who says it has to go over that way? You know. It's like to get distance, yeah, but like for underhand things and throwing underhand, if you go at the right height at the end, like a bliss point of the height, it can go like up further when it travels. I think that's kind of how people figure out how to spin a ball, stuff like that. Okay. There is this person I met at the state fair. He was pretty interesting. He did, I mean, kind of breaking the rules, but he was, I think it's called a baton. And, it's where you take, like, a stick and you kind of, like spin it in a circle in one hand. And I was just fascinated with that, so I was trying to figure out how to do that. And I started being able to, like, figure out things in a better way that I wouldn't have thought about. It was just really cool, and I'm glad I met him. Here we go. There's always, like, more crust at the end there, especially if there's something catching it. Oh gosh, I have to turn it. Yeah. Honestly, what would the world even be without one-handed people? They would be missing so much knowledge about life. So many lessons we would never know about because we're too dependent on what we have. kind of the whole minimalist philosophy, just going without something to realize, oh wait, maybe I don't need that, you know. But then you start realizing what you actually need. And that helps be able to sell like a better product. And understand what people care about when selling it, you know. People don't buy something they really can't, you know, or they shouldn't buy it. I feel like it's my responsibility to kind of keep watch on what is happening with them and the state of their mind, you know, with my interaction with them anyway. It's not my responsibility when they're doing their own thing and they're ignoring me, but when I am talking to somebody, it's my job to care about how I affected them, you know. Ugh. Okay. Buy it like a grip. Oh. Here we go. Honestly, what I would need is like something attached to the wall so that it can hold it, and then it not move around like that and scrape everything. That's the problem. It scrapes everything. But yeah, no, it's still good. Honestly, the whole idea that you're like useless when you only have one hand is stupid. That's false. Obviously. Even the thought that you can't live up to someone's standards, like, come on, if you're gonna say that, like, what even are the standards? There we go. And this is going to go over and under the cloth. Got to wring out. When it's dry, damp, brings it back. And things are soaked up easier when the cloth, the thing soaking up, is already a little bit damp. Because I think it's the law of attraction and stuff like that. Okay. You kind of like find out a different sense of gravity. I guess I'm okay with it right now because I've had to hold a lot of kids while doing stuff before. It's my first baby, but I've had a lot of siblings. And I was like watching them. I'm kind of forcing me to just use one hand. Well, now of course I've been able to keep up on the dishes, and that really helps this situation out. Then there's not a big mess of stuff, because like the problem is scraping the stuff from the pan while still holding it over the trash can. It's just the normal way we do things, but like, how would someone do that? You'd have to have a stand on the trash can to hold it. And possibly like a hook or something that also has something holding the bottom so that it's not swinging around everywhere. And then, you can scrape it with one hand. And you have to be able to assemble it with one hand. Depends on the object too. There's all sorts of objects that people know. I guess to make a product like that, if you have some average kind of objects most households have and what were sold a long time ago. Unless I ever watched was back in the years like Crispin and that's an old can-do stuff. I'm sorry. My friends growing up did that. It was not a James Charles reference. But James Charles is awesome. He's just a little awkward for me, honestly, but he's still awesome. Now this one I usually pop it up and take the other hand and spray it down. Just have to do it a little bit more slowly. Okay. The thing about fast water is that the fast water cuts things a little bit more precise, takes a little bit more away. So when there's a slower drip, it catches on things a little bit more. See, the faster it is, the heavier it is. So if it's like very slow, it just catches on things. Okay, I'm going to get the suds off usually. See, that's still getting the suds off. It's very takes a long time, but it kind of helps with concentration, I guess, and focus. I don't know what I'm training for. Something's got to use this. Okay. It's like spider hands. Honestly, would we have this without spider webs? Is my question. Okay, another thing, I guess I could put the corners on. Do that, and then we can still take the hose and do it. Gotta avoid the corners and the water getting inside. The corners. One at a time. Whoop. Yeah. Is that all of them? Just counting the rotations right now. Go. Honestly, you've gotten to the point where if things fall apart and fall down, it's not the end of the world. The world is going to fall apart, and that's okay, because I don't control the world. And I am perfectly fine with that. In fact, I prefer it. Okay, and that's why I went into my Irish ancestry. That's nice. Is baby coming home? Is he here? Is he here? Hold on. Okay. Ah! No, I can't.